Welcome to the Junk Monkeys podcast. We are an entertainment-based podcast where we talk about, well, entertainment. Today, we put up two heavyweight fighters in the ring. Indie games versus AAA games. Are you ready to rumble? But of course.
That was really good.
The energy is a roller coaster.
Here we go.
To the left of me,
Which way's left?
Randy McLeod.
Ladies and gentlemen, the title bout.
What?
Whoa.
Taught.
Huh?
I taught, put it dead.
And Randy, let me know, what have you been playing / watching in the recent history?
Are you doing the 30-second roundup?
I'm not going to time it like Mike did, but yeah, I'm just going to give you a little time.
I mean, it's a segment.
It's a segment now,
Think
bro.
of it
It's a
as your
segment.
intro into the ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I
So
want,
like,
I want you
that's
to
my walk-up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
the guy in the middle of the ring with the, yeah. So you got to be talking about
For
what
sure.
you're-
Okay. Get that timer ready.
What did I call it to begin with?
I can't remember.
30-second breakdown? No.
That'd be good. It's in the works.
30. You said I can't remember.
Welcome to the ring,
What's entertaining
Randy
you?
McLeod.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been watching and playing a lot of stuff. I've been playing a fuck ton of Halo. I've been playing so much Halo Infinite. But I have been watching. I finished Arcane. Great show. Fantastic show. I watched Spider-Man 3. A bad movie. Not a good movie. But it was really entertaining. And I have been... Is that it? I think that's it. Hey, I don't even need the whole time. Halo Infinite. Play it. Really, really good. Real fun.
And to the left of Randy McLeod, Noah Garbett. Begin.
What have I been doing? What have I been playing? I got back into Divinity.
Mm-hmm.
Been playing that with Mike. So much fun. You can never play the game the same way twice. And then because of Arcane, I have gotten into League of Legends, unfortunately. And I don't. It's interesting because like I'm still learning, and like the League thing is toxic as fuck, but it's worth it.
Bam. Oh, and the timer's going off. That was really good timing. I'm really impressive. To the left of my boy Noah Garbett is my brother, my
Allegedly.
We don't know.
my fellow C.
Brad's alleged brother.
Alleged brother is Michael Gertzen.
Yeah. Could you imagine Noah and I getting like Randy McLeod and then Michael Kurtzen?
Oh yeah, there's this guy Mike.
Michael Gertzen weighing in at 185 pounds and a 5'2"
And 3/4.
is Michael Gertzen. Begin.
Haven't been doing much video gaming. Playing Divinity 2, of course. Loving that. So much fun to not do what you're supposed to. But I've been watching lots of episodes of Cowboy Bebop, which I finished last night. Stayed up till 2:30 in the morning. But well worth it, and really excited to see where that goes. Just met a main character I'm really excited for. So
It's really good timing. And that concludes their 30s. Does someone want to introduce me now that I've introduced all of you?
Oh, you know what, Brad? I'll take the reins.
Okay.
Hand me the reins real quick.
Here.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Bradley Gertzen.
Whoop, 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 whoop. You also want to press the timer. I
Yeah.
feel like it's cheating if I press the timer.
Go.
Oh my goodness. So I'm freaking out now, Randy. Okay.
no pressure.
20 seconds.
20 okay. Recently I have been watching I watched the first episode of Inside Bill Gates' Mind, which was pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's a great documentary. I've also been watching Midnight Gospel.
10 seconds.
Also a great TV show, very trippy, very fun, about a podcast. I would recommend watching it, especially if you're high. And that's it. I wasn't high when I watched it, but it was a good time.
Well done.
I had a genuine panic attack in the first 10 seconds of that. You just said go. I was like, oh my goodness. Anyways, I think I definitely wrote down it. So, anyways, the first question that we come upon in our heavyweight battle is let's talk about the pros and cons of indie games and AAA games.
Bradley, if I may start,
Oh, absolutely, Randy.
can I ask you to define these two items for our listeners who don't know what those are?
Okay, a
And
AAA.
possibly hosts.
We don't know.
Do you guys not know what an indie game is?
I know what it is.
Okay, well, an indie game
Vaguely.
indie games are games that are would say a smaller cast of people working on it. Like not a large. Think of like an indie game as like your local Stop and Shop, and a AAA game is like Walmart. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I think that's the best I can describe it.
Yeah.
Get in depth.
Makes sense. Thank you, Brad.
How would you describe an indie game, Randy?
Okay, so an indie game is like something with a small team, like you said. Not a lot of funding, not a lot of maybe doesn't even have a publisher, but is a small contained experience. Typically, not. It can be super polished, or it can be just a little side project for a lot of like a group of people. Yeah, so indie games very like
Like a small passion project.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
A group passion project.
for sure.
Or single people in some cases.
Sometimes it is just one person. It's crazy.
Sometimes it's mental with one person.
I know.
But
Shit's crazy, bro.
we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Randy McLeod,
Hey.
would you love to tell me your pros and cons of both of these things?
Yeah, I would, Brad.
Okay.
I would love to.
I would love to hear it.
Indie games are probably the best type of game, and let me tell you why. A AAA game, it's a showy piece. It's a let's show off the bells and whistles. Let's get you to buy a console. Okay. What happens when you run out of your AAAs? You know, these are AAAs are like equivalent to like a blockbuster movie. You know, not like a small indie movie, right? You know what an indie movie is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like rubber.
Yeah, like Rubber. That's what I would go to.
Sharknado 8.
Well, I feel like Bollywood is very much like,
You said indie game.
yeah. I don't think Bollywood is an indie game.
I don't think so
Completely missed the
either.
joke, but okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh. Because it's.
Stop.
Indie games. I'll keep my opening statement pretty vague, but like not vague, but like short. Indie games have the creative freedom to do whatever the hell they want, and they can create some of the most memorable, under 70-hour experiences. And I think that's why they trump AAA games.
Hell yeah. Preach, my brother.
Yes, sir.
What did you write any pros and cons for AAA games, or just hyping up indie games today?
That was my opening salvo, bro. That was just like my.
This is where I stand.
This is where I stand on the
This is
issue.
how I feel.
Yeah. Not to say that AAA games are bad. They are not.
For sure. There's some really good AAA games.
Fantastic games.
Unreal games.
When I look at a library that I've collected over the years from Xbox and PlayStation and PC and Switch, I would rather have a library full of indie games and indie experiences than AAA.
Okay.
It's a bold statement.
Well,
Somebody want to fight me on that? Anybody?
I know Mike wants to fight you. I can see Mike looking at me.
Bring it on, bro.
Wait, are we just?
I'm okay with this.
Oh, we're not doing pros and cons.
Oh, you can.
We can. I'm just okay
Just
with
kinda
riding out this
just bring
wave
'em
right
up.
now.
Hey, man. Low energy. We're doing whatever.
I don't know. I feel like with indie games, lots of just due to the fact because they're restricted budget, lots of things that are expected in AAA games just are not present in indie games that make certain AAA things in AAA games just way better. Like, there's no voice casting at all in indie games for the most part. And
Good
if
point.
so, it's very little, right? There's no full voice casting.
Voice acting is very expensive.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, imagine if God of War was an indie game and they just didn't have voice acting.
Good point.
It would still be good because you'd have the text of, like, rolling down the river, right?
Yep.
And you could imagine it, but it would not be the same, not give the same impact.
An emotional experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like indie games indie games being like your top fruit or like the best of the best really gives no advancement in the video game industry. Like with 20 people, you can do new and creative things, but you can never push the limits of what video games have to offer.
If I may.
Please, Noah Garbett, enter the ring.
Bing, bing, bing.
Kind of my thing with indie games is I almost see them as kind of like appetizers.
Okay.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not a full 70-hour game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a nice, short, sweet something just to
Whet your appetite.
exactly.
Wet the whistle.
Well, and they can be so flexible as well. You can have the beautiful single-player games like Abzu, Journey, Bound. That was that one.
Yeah, that we were talking about earlier in the previous episode.
And then like even multiplayer. Like it's not multiplayer isn't as prominent in indie games. It's weird. But the nice thing about the multiplayer in indie games is that there's never like any grinding or anything they have to do. It's just something like everybody can just pick up and be like, okay, let's go do this.
Yeah.
There's no leveling to be equal in power level or anything to your friends. It's just always just going to be a short, sweet thing. No progression needed.
Hop in. Let's get playing.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Totally.
like Risk of Rain.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you haven't played the game or you've been playing the game for 200 hours.
Mm-hmm. There's a few AAA games like that, I would say, but like for the most part, you're right. AAA games coming into multiplayer is like super leveling based, and it's always like trying to get you play more and more and more. Where indie games are like, "This is what I made. I hope
have
you
fun."
like it."
Yeah, but not as
Which
many
are-
indie games are multiplayer. And
That's the
another
truth.
thing with indie games is they have to hook you at the very beginning. Otherwise, they are too easy to just drop.
They can
I
be
feel-
easy to drop.
yeah.
Just because there's nobody's like, "Oh, did you play so what and what?" And then you're just like, "No."
I know I had that issue with Subnautica.
Mm-hmm.
Is I had it, picked it up, played it for a couple hours, and was like, no,
Yeah, I picked it up
not for me.
I picked it up on the free month
Mhm.
earlier, and I was like, I always like watch videos. I was like, "This is gonna be so cool," and I jumped in. I was like, "No."
And I talked to people that played Subnautica, and they rant and rave about how beautiful the game is and how awesome the story is. I couldn't get into it.
I think that just comes with the perceived value of an indie game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, typically you're not paying a $70. Like literally, people are like, "This is a $79.99 game," right?
Yeah.
And that's when they say like that is a AAA game that is very like you're getting a full package sometimes Battlefield, and like yeah. But with an indie game, it's easy to drop those because you probably got it on sale for $10 max.
Yeah. For
Right.
sure,
Or
for
they
sure.
even just offered it free.
Exactly. So I understand that. But I feel like any AAA game has to hook you from the beginning.
I don't know if all of them have to.
Is it because you sunk $80 into
Yeah,
it?
there's almost like the idea that you have to get your money's worth out of the game.
Mm.
So you might just muscle through a bad part in the game and then come to realize, oh, this game's awesome. Now that I know the mechanics, that I know the characters, the story, then that kind of like, it's a bunch of little hooks that drag you in.
No, I get what you mean.
I rock with that. I guess did we throw all of our pros and cons out quick there?
I kind of did.
What's Brad? What do you got? What is a pro of AAA? What's a pro of indie?
See, for indie games, as a pro, I put no corporate involvement in quotation marks, as in, like, with indie games, they can delve deep and dirty into a lot of things that, like, AAA games just can't, because, like, well, advertising and stuff like that, and they want to hook as many people as possible, so it's like, maybe if it's a niche topic that indie games are dealing with, then it's like, they don't want to put millions and millions of dollars into it, because maybe it won't appeal to a bunch of people.
Totally.
So I thought that was definitely a pro that indie games can play into for sure, and have played into and been super successful about.
Challenging, well, just basically shooting for like challenging topics.
Exactly. Like there's a few out there that talk about like mental health and stuff like that. I've never really played any of them, but I've heard a lot about them. Well, yeah, and like small things like that. And it's like, I don't know. It's just like really amazing how they can do that in a way that AAA games just really can't.
Yeah.
And pros for AAA games, I was like, honestly, having way more support for a game is nice, and then
Regular updates.
yeah, regular updates is what I wrote down, which is something that maybe if you get a grindy indie producer, they can pump it out like Stardew Valley.
Well,
that one
Risk of
man
Rain
is-
has been doing, I think they've been doing like yearly updates.
Exactly, which is like yearly isn't insane, but they pull out a lot of content in those years usually. But AAA games, it's like you play COD, and it's like every week there's a 3 gig update that rebalances all the guns they.
By the way, half of your hard drive is ours.
Yeah, and then they rebalance half the guns they fucked up in the last update.
And I feel like popularity with AAA games can also be a downfall because you have that many players. It's going to be much more prominent in social media. People are going to find exploits. People are going to find optimal yada yada yada, and that's going to spread like a wildfire.
Yep.
And it gets to the point in the game where everybody is either doing an exploit, has the same optimal build. You're going to obviously not everybody's going to do that, but there's still going to be tons of people doing that, and that can get super annoying sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which is why you have that giant team to squash those. Because like an indie developer wouldn't have that.
No, not at all. I also wrote down indie games as like less. What's the word? Colliding ideas. Like I feel like if you get into a corporate level, there's so many different levels of people of like ideas or like lead idea. I don't even know what you're.
Too many cooks in the kitchen is what. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and when you get an indie game with like 3 people that are all passionate about one thing, they can sometimes pump out something better than a AAA game could ever.
Totally.
Just out of story and pure passion, in my opinion. But hey, maybe that's just me. Who knows?
It's your opinion, dog.
That is my opinion.
You're the host of this podcast. You can say whatever you want.
We can all say whatever we want.
With limitations.
With limitations. We can't say what all we want. It's on the internet, guys. Come on.
Come on.
Was there any other pros and cons that we left out on this one?
I think one pro for AAA games is that they can have easier success with having series of games. It can sometimes be difficult to follow series of indie games. Obviously, if you're super passionate about the game, you're obviously going to pick it up. But if a AAA game does really well, then it gets more funding to pump out a series that gains more traction.
Totally.
And that's actually how like a lot of like quote unquote indie games can then turn into full on gaming companies and everything.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I feel with that.
Yeah, and like that's kind of the risk of being an indie game is that like you're releasing. Okay, Brad, you and I made an indie game. Guess what?
What are we calling it? Randy?
Calling it Ferry Simulator.
Ferry Simulator?
Where you're on a boat.
We're on a boat?
Yeah. You
Okay.
can do whatever you want on this boat.
Can we make it like a stealth level based?
Yeah, definitely third person action game.
Yeah, that we
like
hide
Hitman.
from a security guard.
Okay.
What do we name the security guard?
Frederick.
Terrence. His friends call him Terry.
Oh, Terrence. His friends call him Terry.
All right,
Last
anyway.
name is a
Terry the
divorced wife.
Boatman. Okay, that's the name of our indie game.
On the
Coming
phone.
out. Guys, guess what? It's coming out this Friday. Tell your friends. Uh-oh.
Nobody got told.
900 other indie games are coming out on Friday. We didn't do any marketing. We didn't do any social media. We did nothing. And you're lost in the sea. Right?
It's kind of like just throwing a dart at a board.
Totally.
Like,
Unless you have something to show for your game and you've been leading up to it and you've been gaining traction, an indie game is set out to die without proper support from
It's like
social media.
yeah, it's like a coin toss whether or not your indie game will either flop or fly.
Exactly. And that can be terrible for a lot of people that have, like, people that made Cuphead remortgaged their house because they really believed in that project. But if their project didn't get picked up by Microsoft, guess what? They just remortgage their house and they're fucked, you know?
For sure, and people put a lot of stuff into indie games. Like, I know technically No Man's Sky wasn't an indie game.
I was just about to say
But
that.
that guy like literally sold his house and like put so much stuff, and I think that a development team of like way too little to be doing what they were trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was like Hello Games is what they were.
Yep.
The guy literally was like living at the office, and then it was the biggest flop ever.
People bought it, though.
And they honestly, I was looking into it because like I story about Brad. I was a day oneer for No Man's Sky.
I remember.
Like I bought it midnight. Like that. I was so excited. Never been so excited for a game. Played it one day for 12 hours and never touched it again.
But apparently it's super in depth now.
Oh, they
Like they
updated
have
it now,
whole
for sure.
community building mechanics in it.
And they have like Land Rovers and stuff like that, which is pretty crazy. Long story short, people put a lot of faith in their video games sometimes,
Yep.
and sometimes it doesn't go out well.
Sometimes.
which is tough. But I mean, also in a way, I feel like that makes them make better games because they're like, this is what I got to do.
It's the thrill of the fight, man.
It is the thrill of the fight. Great VR game, by the way. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yeah. So Noah, I never did hear. Which one do you prefer? Is it indie games or the AAA games?
Probably indie, honestly.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to lean toward
I
AAA.
thought you were definitely gonna lean towards
I definitely initially thought that. But I just feel like indie games can do so much more, and they can do so much more quicker.
Yeah.
You can pump out indie games much faster. Waiting in between like AAA games sucks.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
I feel at this point in time, big game companies can't push out enough content to keep players on their game consistently. Like I went when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World, awesome game.
Yep.
Took them forever to come out with Iceborne.
Yeah. But they made a second game pretty much.
Yeah, it was basically a second game.
Yep.
Now, could they have sectioned that and released it in smaller tidbits? Absolutely, they could have.
Totally.
But then,
They couldn't sell it for $40 again.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It would have been a bunch of DLC and everything.
Yep.
They sold a game for basically $130 by the end of that,
Pretty much.
which is a great game. Don't get me wrong.
Fantastic.
Unreal. You could dump a lot of hours in that game.
Yeah.
You guys did
We
dump
did.
a lot of hours in that game.
500.
Did
you get
put
to 500?
500?
5?
Yeah, something around
7?
that.
That's insane, man.
It wasn't that bad.
When you think about how many hours we put into video games, it is kind of clapped.
I really wish that, like, when I die, like, all of a sudden the scoreboard comes up with the stats and I can, like, go through my stats and I can be like,
Rage quitted 200 times.
but, like, I just want, like, a stat screen that tells me how much time I've spent playing video games in my life and, like, the
Like
percentage.
what percentage?
Yeah.
Because like they show it up at the end of the year or whatever.
Yeah, they
Like
do.
PS4,
On PlayStation,
and
yeah.
it's like over 1,000 every year or like several thousand.
I
You're
used
like,
to sink so much time to Apex, man.
and then it's like, oh my goodness. And then you do the math. You're like, that was like 24 days over the year. What am I
Oh, it's gonna be
doing?
rough. But yeah, no, indie games, they can do so much more. They can use oddball mechanics that you wouldn't see in AAA games.
Which they do explore a lot in those game jams. Have you ever watched those? They give
Yeah.
them like 48 hours for indie developers to just make games, and some of the coolest stuff comes out of there.
Well, when I was doing this, I thought about Helldivers and like the D-pad
Ah.
using to call in stuff.
Which is crazy.
No,
Yeah.
every time you bring up Helldivers,
I love it.
I'm just like, why don't we play Helldivers again?
Yeah, and that's like another thing. Like, there's no time investment in indie games,
No.
No.
especially for multiplayer indie games. Risk of Rain, Helldivers.
Yep.
You just pick them up and play.
Yep.
Especially because there's so many, like, roguelites are such a heavy thing in indie
It's very
games.
indie thing.
There is progression in it, but you progress super quick. It's always rewarding. It's immediate. You play one game, you unlock 3 different things. You pick those things up, you play another game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just consistent. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just always immediately rewarding, and
Beautiful.
I don't want to have to wait 6 months for a new game to come out.
Like,
It was kind of like the Division, right?
Mhm.
When like Division 2 came out and like it was like, oh man, that was great for 20 hours.
Yeah,
Ubisoft.
it was great for 20 hours. I'm not going to stick in your game for the 80 hours that you have planned.
Yeah, no,
which sucks.
because you're
That's the
gonna
indie
drip feed it to me for the next 6 months because you want engagement throughout for the next 6 months for your quarter.
And it's not as there's no cost investment, not as much of a cost investment. You're not going to run across a bunch of microtransactions. Even like you're not going to run into DLC, which can be kind of a blessing and a curse, but it's cheaper.
I think it depends on the indie game.
Mm-hmm.
Like typically they're self-contained games, but like sometimes like if they
You can get some
success-
indie games that are absolutely fucked with microtransactions.
Great point.
Yeah, 'cause those people, those I would say sometimes leer away from a passion project into a more of I'm trying to make money off this
Yeah,
project.
when the indie
I mean, everybody's trying to make money off their project.
when
Yeah,
the
for
indie
sure,
game
but
on
sometimes it's a
console
little too
starts
much.
feeling
Yeah.
like a mobile game,
Yeah. Okay. He brought up a great point there.
Mm.
He's gone and done
Yeah,
it.
he's right. He's right. Mobile games. Also, I have no point about mobile games. I was just thinking about Clash of Clans, to be honest.
I was thinking of Kingdom Rush. You ever played that?
No?
No.
I was thinking of any
Yeah.
mobile game that has like a yelling knight or a yelling king or a yelling Viking
As
or
their,
a
like,
yelling
thumbnail.
army man.
Yep.
Any of those.
Welcome
Buy
the same.
gems.
All the same.
by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
Not actually. Just to preface that.
Maybe one day.
I honestly,
I would sell my soul for Raid Shadow Legends. I'd get that sponsorship in a heartbeat.
Fair enough.
Like, even just for the meme.
Just for them, it would be funny. I feel like at this point, like YouTubers just do it because they're like, this is hilarious.
I feel like we're the perfect candidate for Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
We
Especially
haven't
because
played the game.
I
But
was
hey,
about to say, especially because none of us have played it.
I feel like that's the most advertised game I've seen nobody play. Like I've never seen one person play Raid Shadow.
show me
Legends.
one person you've met in real life that has Raid Shadow Legends downloaded on
yeah.
their phone.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's like it's like mattress companies. There's no way they
not
have
real.
enough money for all this advertising.
How many mattresses you sell in a day, bro?
Exactly.
How many? You give me a number.
It is a money laundering scheme. I guarantee you. Somebody's getting a tax break out of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're just shoving drugs into the mattresses. That's how they get
Shoving
their
drugs
money.
into Raid Shadow Legends.
Maybe there's mining Bitcoin in the background of Raid Shadow Legends.
They're using your phone for
It's
that.
got to be something like
Yeah.
that.
It's gonna be crazy. Anyways, Michael, what do you prefer, indie or AAA? Let me know.
In the comments.
In the comments below, we're ending the stream.
Specifically for Michael, I want you to tell me what Michael's opinion is in the comments.
Gotta be AAA.
Okay.
For the simple fact that indie games are just, I wouldn't call them bland, but like
That will be
some
a
of them
very
get
bold
to, some of them definitely become very cookie cutter, no matter, like especially like your, like kind of like the most popular indie games always seem to have kind of the same art style, or they're always in the same category. Most indie games, 85 to 90% of them are 2D platformers and or a roguelike.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, to combat that a little bit, that's easy. Yeah, like I mean, like it's easier to make a game that is a 2D platformer for sure, because you're not making 3D graphics.
And,
for
well, yeah,
anything
well,
like
graphically, you can make a beautiful 2D platformer.
that. Totally. Celeste.
But how many
Celeste,
times can you make
Limbo.
a beautiful 2D platformer before it's
Before-
something that's been done before?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, like Hollow Knight would be an example.
That's a Metroidvania.
I guess it would be a Metroidvania. It would
Yeah.
not be a roguelike.
No.
You just die and then go back in anyways.
Yep.
Still, beautiful.
Metroidvanias.
2D platformer, that's beautiful.
Love me a Metroidvania.
Or with
Just a solid-
AAA games where most of us, other than the one caveat of Wizard with a gun, that's gonna be a great game.
Right.
But that AAA games are kind of why you play video games and why you're excited for them, right?
Totally.
That's fair.
Like, cool indie games come up every once in a while, but it's not like that's what you're waiting to pour your money into. Like, you're not sitting around waiting for the day that indie game that's supposed to be like Halo drops, right?
Yep.
Not waiting for Hollow Knight. You're not sitting there waiting for Hollow Knight 2 to come out.
I'm not. To prove your point, like next year, I'm excited for God of War Ragnarok. Right.
Your
I-
AAA games are like your hard hitters of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. They're like, but like, I'm not. I don't have a single indie game where I'm like, I can't wait for that to come out next year. Like, I can't think of one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they don't announce it.
Great point.
And with indie games, like the ones that aren't picked up by publishers definitely have a disadvantage.
Totally.
For sure.
And if they are picked up by publishers, they do still are in a corporation, right?
Yep.
So if you look at something like Chucklefish, who's a developer of Stardew Valley,
Mm.
every game they've come out with so far, like Eastward is the newest one. Cookie cutter to Stardew. A little bit different, still your artistic.
Chucklefish is the publisher.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right,
Concerned
okay,
Ape,
not the
Concerned,
developer.
Ape, Concerned Ape is the developer.
Concerned Ape is the developer, yeah.
Isn't Concerned Ape the one that's making the NFTs?
No.
Don't think so.
No, that's just monkeys.
They're just apes, bro.
They're just monkeys, bro.
Concerned Ape is just a single guy that didn't want to put out his identity when he released the game.
Yeah.
Also an absolute grinder, but anyways.
I don't know. I just think that AAA games are the pinnacle of gaming, and indie games, although some of them are gems, they just can't match to the thousands and thousands of employees that
Yeah.
have worked on a AAA game,
Mhm.
right? And lots of those are passion projects for a lot of people.
It's difficult because like it's you'd be called a madman if you're like, I'm going to compare God of War 2018 to I don't want to go with like the critical darlings like Stardew Valley or anything, but like, well, you know what? You can't compare the two, right?
No,
you don't go, God of War is objectively better than Stardew Valley.
Binding of Isaac or something like that.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac, right? They're two things that are going after a different goal. Binding of Isaac is not going for a cinematic storytelling masterpiece.
No, it's a pretty cool roguelike.
Yeah, it's a great roguelike.
Religion and other things that.
So I totally get what you mean, Mike. Like, I think that's the whole point of AAA. AAA is to prove that gaming, first of all, is a publicly accessible thing.
And
like,
profitable.
And profitable.
For investors and other things.
Exactly.
Very profitable. Profitable.
And typically people buy consoles for those AAA experiences.
For sure.
Especially like the amount of people I've talked to where it's like, yeah, man, I got an Xbox. I'm like, cool, what do you play? And he's like, FIFA and Chell and stuff like that.
Oh my, so many people.
Yeah, they just buy the game to play their sports games.
Yeah.
Which is totally cool. But
also, I love sport games, but also when someone's like, yeah, man, I'm a gamer, and they're like, I play COD and Chell. I'm like, well,
no, you're still a gamer.
you're still a gamer,
Whoa,
but I mean,
whoa,
it's
whoa.
missing on a lot.
Whoa,
You're missing
you
on a lot of
cannot
stuff.
gate our community like that.
You're right, I can't. I don't hate on them.
Grandma playing Candy Crush is a gamer in my mind.
Yep.
I agree. I
And
just
you
like
gating grandma like that? Unacceptable.
Grandma.
no, I just want to open the door for those people
Yeah,
to
if you
see
play
all the
like
beautiful
COD,
things.
you're not a real gamer.
Yeah, am I right?
Yeah. COD League, never heard of it.
Never heard
As
of
I
it.
grinded it for 400 hours this year.
Yeah, I was supposed to say.
Something like that. No, but I love those people, and I'm glad they play games. But there's so many more experiences out there I want them to play. Sometimes I'm like, when can you try God of War?
It's
Or
the
like,
people that
really
limit
big-
themselves to like one type of game.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is what it is. If that's what you like, then that's what you like. But I do want to see people broaden their horizons in gaming sometimes. There's beautiful pieces of work that people have come up with in indie games and AAA games.
Yep.
So, I'm going to go on to a next question here.
Please.
And this is a weird one. I was like, I was sitting there thinking of talking points. I was like, wow, I don't know how to put these things against each other at all. So I was like, all right, guys, if you guys could only play one indie game and one AAA game for the rest of life, what would it be? And the reason I'm asking you this is because I want to put indie games against indie games,
Okay.
and like AAA games against AAA games. You
Or
know what I
top
mean?
3.
Yeah, for sure. A top 3, but
Top 4. You should have one.
Top 4 what?
Top 4 indie games. Top 4 AAA games.
Yeah, I could.
Or you mean like 1-on-1?
Or everybody's like personal favorite.
I would say like just pick one. You just have I have a list of several, but like you got to end off with one, and that's it. Rest of your life, period.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to start so we can see how this goes?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I want you to start.
So I wrote down indie games. I was like Minecraft, but then I was like, is Minecraft still an indie game? I wanted to throw this up in the
Nah,
air
I wouldn't say so.
because it's been bought out by Microsoft now.
It started out indie.
For sure started out indie, but now it's
Did
like, it would for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, it must have been.
But now it's like bought out and stuff. So I was like, yeah, we'll see how they feel about that one. But for
Bought
indie
by
games,
Microsoft.
I also put Binding of Isaac ? Maybe.
Yeah, it's an
Because
indie game.
I was like roguelike. Could play a lot of it, but then I was like it ends at some point. Like you've seen people play. Have you ever seen people play Binding of Isaac where they play it and then like they literally just complete it every time and go all the way through and they're like, oh, this is crazy.
I've never played Binding of Isaac.
I played it a little bit on the laptop. I would love to get more into it. It's a great little roguelike, and it's really pretty. And there's a lot of content in it. It's just like, I don't know, I haven't got into it yet. Fully. I probably never will, to be honest. I always say that, you should probably get it, but just
Well, you're
don't.
going to if it's the last indie game that you're going to play for your entire life.
Exactly, and that's what I was thinking of. Another indie game that I wrote down was Enter the Gungeon. And I was thinking about that because it still has a lot of support. They're coming with a lot of new content and like guns and stuff.
Afraid they're not.
Are they done?
Yeah, their last update was their last one.
Oh, I should have done more
It was called A
research.
Farewell to Arms.
Well, there's a reason I didn't pick that as my final one. My final one, and this is weird because you guys probably haven't heard of this one. It's called RimWorld.
Sounds familiar.
It does, actually.
It's a top-down base building roguelike city builder.
Biddy Builder.
Bitty builder. Great game. Would recommend. It's like whole story of it is like there's like a bunch of different ways you could play. Super hard survival builder game. and I played it. I must have played it for like 20, 30 hours, and I barely scratched the surface.
Damn.
So I was like, if I got the rest of my life, I want to get really good at this game.
Sure.
Especially because they're still coming out with DLCs. They just came with a new one. I'm like, well, they got a lot of.
Actually, Brad, they stopped making DLC for the
I hate to break it to you, but
I don't know this game.
just
but-
shit on every game that you
oh,
say.
the farewell to the world.
Yeah.
And for AAAs,
Rim my world.
for AAAs,
DLC.
because I figured you guys wouldn't say Minecraft was an indie game. It's probably
Oh, he's got the double.
I was like, well, probably
Backed it
Minecraft.
up.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, come on, man. I put a lot of hours in Minecraft. I feel like I always put a lot more. The creativity in that game is endless.
Caves and Cliff update looks really nice.
And
Looks really nice.
there's so many like servers and different things you can play online and whatever. And so I was like, for the rest of my life, yeah, I could probably do that one.
Get really good at spleef.
Exactly.
What the fuck is spleef?
You don't know what spleef is?
No.
Oh, they just like you just.
Don't even tell him.
Don't. No.
Can't believe you don't know what spleef is.
Yeah, you're right, guys.
Go read a book or something.
You know, can I tell them, guys?
No.
Okay.
Even I'm telling you no.
Okay. And plus, I thought about
wanna
it.
know.
If I ever wanted,
I really don't.
if I wanted to like pursue like making video games, like YouTube videos, something like that. You know how many Minecraft YouTubers there are? Ridiculous.
I feel like it's a dead genre now, isn't it?
Oh no.
No?
Not
Are people
at
still
all.
grinding Minecraft?
Oh,
There's so
yeah.
many. There's people that have been playing Minecraft since like 2011 are still making millions.
Who's still
of views.
watching Minecraft?
There's people that
though?
have like, oh, let's play episode 1000.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Ethos
that's-
Lab is still making them.
I used to watch the fuck out of Ethos Lab.
Exactly. He's still making them. Also, there's mods in Minecraft, so that's another endless
Yeah.
capability that's
There's always something new.
Huh.
just out of the loop, Ran. You just,
You just
I guess
haven't-
so.
You just
You-
haven't heard of fucking Dream or anybody like that?
I know about Dream. Because, like, Donkey made a video about him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
but yeah,
If Donkey can make a video out of him, it's popular.
All right, I guess.
yeah. There's a
I
million.
just don't get it. Well, I guess, like, there's always new kids that are always wanting to, like, watch.
Randy,
like, look
would
for
you
something
play
to watch.
Minecraft?
Would I play it? Nah.
Where's all this coming from?
I don't know,
Randy,
man.
you've never sunk the time into Minecraft.
I just don't have the creativity.
Everybody in this room has sunk at least 30, 40 hours in a single world.
The thunder.
Well, no. I have played Minecraft. I wanted to be clear. I used to play it with my friend Kyle on my Xbox. I would just bring it over. Let me be clear. And like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm Obama. But I lack creativity, you know? Fortnite, I don't know how to play that game. You got to be creative. What are you supposed to build with all these materials? I don't know.
Randy, you are one of the most creative guys I know, and you aren't saying
That's not
you're
even
not
remotely
creative
true, no.
enough.
I can't.
for
You've
Minecraft.
spearheaded the PV Mart Facebook page making puns every day.
That's not. That's wordplay. That's not creativity and making
Hey,
things. You know what I mean?
Can we plug the PVMart Facebook page?
No.
We're not sponsored by them yet,
No.
my bad. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
How's it
yours would be Minecraft then, like for your AAA.
For my AAA. So RimWorld and Minecraft, which is two very odd choices, I know. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to run it.
With the rim?
Because I was worried about picking bigger AAA games like Destiny 2 or like certain CODs or something like that, because eventually people stop playing them or they come out with the next one. Minecraft, they're never coming out with Minecraft 2. Are you kidding me? They're still gonna update that for the next like 10 years.
Welcome to Minecraft 2.
No.
Welcome to the world of Minecraft 2. This is an E3 presentation. In this world, Minecraft is known for squares, but we've gone spherical. It's just circles everywhere.
Welcome to Craft Mine.
With
That
our
sounds like
new chonk system.
Can I talk about the chunk system in Minecraft for a second?
I guess.
Just because I watched a video on this a while ago, and it is actually insane how innovative the chunk system in Minecraft is. Think about how big of a game Minecraft is, and think about how they fit it into a mobile device for like, what is it, like 2 gigs? And it's with like worlds that go how many blocks procedurally generated in these little squares?
Like 2 million to the, what is it, Edge World or something?
Something disgusting like that. Yeah, it's just something insane. But they have a patent on the chunk procedurally generated way.
Chunk monkeys, yeah.
The chunk monkeys.
That's our Minecraft stream.
That's
And
our
like-
ice cream stream.
And like, if it wasn't patent to Minecraft, they could make insane games if like it was just like able to be used by other studios, but they don't let them because it's Minecraft's thing.
That's another topic in and of itself, of people like trademarking game mechanics.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I want to see it grow, bro. It's like if an artist trademarked a color.
That's like if a movie director was
You
like,
say that like it hasn't happened.
Oh, it's definitely happened. I was thinking it was a TV show about it.
Vanta Black.
what?
Vanta Black is the trademark color by some, like, I think it's European artist. It's like what they quoted as the blackest black.
Oh,
Right.
It absorbs like 98% of light reflection or something.
why don't we go darker? 99.
It's funny you say that because they did.
Get fucked.
To buy it, you have to sign a waiver saying that you aren't or work for the guy that trademarked it, Vanta Black.
That's ridiculous.
That is mental.
It's hilarious. I loved it so much.
Some people have just doing the wildest.
It's the guy
thing
that
out
made the this giant silver bean in Chicago, I think.
That guy.
That guy trademarked
What an
Vanta
asshole.
Black. I know.
Is he from Chicago?
I don't think so.
He's probably an asshole.
here. Hey, you from Chicago?
Everybody from Chicago.
Hey, fuck
Randy,
you.
Randy does not like you.
Randy disapprove.
I would love to go to
All of a
Chicago one day.
sudden, we lost 70
Yeah.
views.
Why was that all of our viewers?
Why is everybody from Chicago?
They're in the middle of having their fucking hot dogs or whatever they do down there, and they're like looking at their bean.
Whatever they
The
do.
Chicago pizza.
Yeah, their deep dish fucking pizza.
Their goddamn pizzas, actual pies.
Yeah.
You know, pizza pies. Don't take the pie so literal, Chicago.
God, you pretentious assholes. Just alienate an entire state. It's okay, we're in Canada. As long as we don't say anything bad about Saskatchewan.
Is Chicago a state?
I will talk so much shit about Saskatchewan.
It's a city.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Chicago's
fuck, it's a city. Yeah, you're right.
I was like, wait a minute.
I don't know anything
Why
about
can't we talk bad about Saskatchewan?
Then we might have viewers. We have one viewer we know of.
Listen,
We
we
do.
sold Saskatchewanopoly
Yeah,
in store.
I know, I
Nobody
just-
bought it.
I s-
Nobody.
Dude, I just stocked 2 boxes of those. But besides the point, this is not part of the podcast, guys.
Nobody
Back-
wants to buy anything in Chicago. In
Glad
Saskatchewan.
we came full circle. Saskatchewan is the Chicago of Canada,
Remember
okay?
when we talked about video games?
No, I don't.
Just been shit
It's
talking.
a while ago.
Okay, guys, okay. Randy,
Hey,
2 games, rest of your life.
the rest of my
How
life.
you die.
Brad,
Let me know.
I'll start with my AAA. It's probably going to be Halo Infinite.
Okay.
Bro, I'm not getting sick of that game anytime soon. Also, it'll take about the rest of my life to get through the battle pass. So, it'll work out.
We got it, guys. We got it.
And then my indie game, there's so many fucking awesome indie games only on PC.
Is your list just the whole paper or what?
Bro, like that paragraph is indie games.
I thought that was the whole paragraph.
But no, one that I will never get sick of, it's this game called Papers, Please, where it's only on PC. But
I've heard of this game.
you have? Okay.
Absolutely.
You're basically a security guard at like a border check stop, and you just have to make sure that people's identifications and papers are good. But it's so good.
That fun fact, that was from a game jam
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
that started.
My guy made that in 48. Well, he didn't make that, but like
he
the
made
concept
the
was
idea
there.
in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Besides the
But yeah, you just like have to stamp people and like let them through if like their identification works out. And it's got a cool story, and there's an endless mode, and it's just addicting. It's like it's one of those games. My brother doesn't really like. He's not like on my level where like I play a fuck ton of games. He only plays some games. But when we were in college together, he played that for like maybe 40 hours. Like that is a 12-hour game at max.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've
Just
definitely.
stamping IDs.
That and Prison Architect. He really got into that.
I've honestly have looked at Prison Architect. I thought about it for
fun.
this idea just because there's so many ways to play it. That and Slay the Spire, if you've ever heard of that. But
I have heard of that. I think Mike told me about it one time, maybe twice. Maybe 7
Fantastic.
times.
So good.
It's a good game.
it was a good game. Noah, let me know.
So, I haven't played nearly as many indie games, I feel, as Randy has.
Ooh, number 1, yeah.
But, like, opening up my library on my PS4, which is where I played, like, 99% of my games, and just kind of going through everything that I've ever purchased on it, I think I came to a conclusion where if I had to play one game for the rest of my life, it would probably be Risk of Rain 2.
Hell yeah.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough.
Guys, we gotta play more Risk of Rain too.
They need to fix their netcode.
They do need to fix their network. Yeah, no, that's a problem.
there's just so much to the game, and it's simple. It's just you get on this level, you survive, you go.
Yep.
It just gets progressively harder over. There's some guys that like do mods and stuff on it, so like you have the whole modding community on it.
And it's only getting bigger. Let's be
And it's
real.
only
I feel
getting bigger.
I
It's
feel
a-
like Risk of Rain's still growing for sure.
I played the first one and I loved it, and I had no expectations for them to come out with a second one, nor for it to be 3D.
Mm-hmm.
The company seems awesome. If it ever starts getting too easy, you just start throwing on relics or doing special runs.
For sure.
And like, if I'm playing it for the rest of my life, by the end of it, I'll just be doing speedrunning, just trying to get shorter times over and over and over.
For sure.
So it just feels like it has so much longevity to it for just being a simple indie game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love that game. And like the artistic style on it, it's awesome too.
For sure.
You get to be a big old dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
How cool is that?
Or an astronaut.
Estinet.
And then if I had to pick one AAA game for the rest of my life, it would probably be Battlefield 2042. I know it's like super glitchy right now,
For sure.
but there's not a doubt in my mind that they're going to fix it.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, Noah's always been a little hoe for Battlefield games too.
I love Battlefield so much. It does not matter how good you get at that game. There is going to be some fucker in a Jeep with C4 that is going to kill you.
That's true. It's one of those games you probably could never go a game. Or
It's a game where you can just be on like the hottest streak of your life and your team will still lose.
Yep.
It's no matter how good you get at the game, if your team's shit, you're going to lose. And you're never going to get so good at the game that it's going to get too easy that you're going to win 100% of the games that you get into. It's always going to be dependent on so many external factors that you're always going to have to improvise and adapt to different situations. No game is going to play out the same. It has beautiful visuals. 2042 Portal, people just get to make their own games.
It's a modding community in and of
Yeah,
itself. Yep.
Yeah, it has the whole modding community. It has everybody else's creativity that can be thrown at it now. And I feel like it's only going to just keep expanding. Like, how long did Battlefield 4 servers last? Like, they're
still
still
up.
Yeah, they're still running
Oh, they're
today.
still going, yeah.
Yeah. Like, in 2042, having all the Battlefields on it and everybody access to all the assets in it, like, it's going to last so much longer, too.
It's pretty hype.
I honestly hope,
It's got the backing of VA.
yeah, I hope more games include such mod support for their games. I think a lot of games lack like super mod support for certain games. Like, for instance, let's get back to Minecraft. I guess they had a mod support for like PS4 and stuff now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they made a
Kind of.
microtransaction, which is dumb, just dummy. But I mean, like, you can get mods on console now, which is honestly something that's kind of unheard of in most video games. And I just hope there's more support for that
Fallout
in
4
games and
did it.
features.
It was all right.
Bethesda did it. They also microtransaction the shit out of it.
Forgot
though.
about
Which sucks. But hey,
Fallout 4 was good.
The modders get paid.
that. Hey, that's good.
that's true. The modders do get paid.
Yeah, you get to support the community that you're into. So
Mhm.
that's another bonus.
Plus, you have video game money to dump anyways if it's the rest of your life. So,
Good point.
Michael, let me know. Stranded forever. What games you playing? Indie AAA. Let me know.
Indie, I'd have to go with Risk of Rain 2 as well. When you're only allowed to play 2 games for the rest of your life, the longevity is kind of the biggest factor, right?
Oh, for sure.
Also, the big thing for me in games is decisions and the different variables in the decisions. And every Risk of Rain 2 run is completely different from the last. Sure, the levels are kind of the same all the time, like there's set maps, but there's so many different variables because the game, if you don't know, it gets more difficult per stage. So every time you complete a level, as well as the seconds on the clock, so you get timed. And if you spend too long in a certain stage, then the next stage after is going to be harder than normal. So you have to keep that in check while trying to make sure you get good enough random items, while you have to make sure you're getting the right items and finding the boss, killing the boss in time. There's boss strategies. There's like 10 different characters that are all different and unique in their own. who mesh with different items better.
They're also
Yeah.
going to be adding more.
And they're still adding stuff to the game.
which is a beautiful thing.
It's a great game. Like, that's a fantastic indie that I feel like not enough people talk about.
I feel like we brought it up in pretty much every podcast, and I love it. Honestly, it's such a good game that we do need to play more.
Risk of Rain 2 and Helldivers.
Yep.
Mint.
Beautiful games.
Minty games. Anyways, I think we're getting around the...
What about Triple? What about
I'm not done yet.
Hey, oh, hey, whoa!
Hey, whoa!
My bad, guys. Oh, my.
Golly.
A little sleepy today. Take that one.
Falling asleep at the wheel, are we?
Take that one on the chin, boys. My
You
beat.
should take the wheel.
That was-
Take it from my hands. Oh, he's committing.
Dude, that was...
Kept going.
Oh, shit, he's voicing.
This mic makes your voice sound beautiful. No homo.
Yes.
Pause. All right. Finish it off.
And
chill.
you're allowed to compliment my voice.
Yeah, come on, Noah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh, that got weird quick.
Weird
Sorry.
gray
Okay,
area.
guys.
Anyway, let's
Um,
move on.
And thinking of longevity
Mm.
for games, I would really like first-person shooters a lot, but the issue with them is they'll always become stale, and there will always be a new one. So if I was to play one game for the rest of my life, it would have to be a multiplayer PvP kind of game. It was between two, but I'm gonna go with League of Legends.
I was thinking about writing that one down as well.
Because again, with like decision making and the different variables that go into a game, completely like never the same every single time you load in, right?
Mhm.
And it's just one of those games that the ceiling is through the roof.
And
How good you can get.
There is no ceiling.
also, I don't think they're coming out with League of Legends too.
Because it's outside.
Ever. I think that game's gonna last for a long time, especially with the new release of Arcane.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh.
sure a lot
Go
of people are
watch
gonna
Arcane
start.
if you haven't.
Sure, a lot of people are gonna start playing League of Legends now that is out.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's so much fun.
my jungler?
It's so much fun playing it. And just everybody just absolutely shit talking the fuck out of everybody on your team.
Nope.
Because like they'll obviously call me out for being shit at what I'm doing. And there's like I don't even know how to type back. I'm just learning how to play the game.
yeah, for sure.
And they'll always like try to surrender as soon as somebody fucks up one thing. And I'm just like, no, I'm gonna play this game till it says defeat on the screen.
I have to learn.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn this game one way or another.
0% a beginner-friendly game.
No,
But
no,
that's-
it is not.
But that's what I think would make it a great game to play for the rest of your life. Because eventually you break that ceiling, and I bet you it's one of those games you break that ceiling, and it is a
So
forever
either you break
game.
it or the game breaks you.
Yeah, like
And you got all your life to do it.
I also had another thought of like a World of Warcraft maybe would have been a good one to
You
pick.
can lose your life in World of Warcraft.
You can exactly
The original metaverse, some people say.
the OG,
The OG.
the OG,
OGMP
MV.
MB.
for Metaverse.
Huh?
Did you get it?
Did you get it, Brad?
Yeah,
Viewers, did you get it?
this reminds me of a BoJack Horseman episode where it shows him starting to be a stand-up comedian before he starts his acting career. And every time he says a joke, he's like, "Did you guys get it? Did you get it?" Because of the thing, and it's just really funny. Very important time in BoJack Horseman, by the way.
Okay.
You should probably watch that.
Brad, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to watch
I
it.
know you're not. I'm just gonna keep bringing it up though. We're near on the 1 hour mark,
Okay.
so I have a little game.
Ooh.
these.
I love the games.
It's more of a little trivia game. I'm just gonna call it higher, lower, or equal. I got production values for these games,
Ooh.
and I want you to say either higher, lower, or equal to the one I say, and then I'm gonna tell you the actual one. Okay?
So we basically pick which one would be higher or lower.
No, it's just
Out
I
of
tell
the
you
two?
one. I just tell you one,
Okay.
and you're like,
So he's going to start us off with one,
and
and
it's
then
either,
he's going to list another one. And we say
Okay.
it's higher or lower than the one he listed first.
Okay.
no, it's just the one.
What?
It's just the one, and then I'm gonna be like, what's the actual production value? And you'll be like, is it higher than this number? Is it lower than this number? Or equal to this number? Okay.
Okay.
Last of Us 2, production value of $200 million. What do you think? Think it
Equal.
out, guys.
It's higher.
It's much higher.
Okay. It's $100 million to make, guys.
Oh, really?
It was $100 million, which surprised me a lot.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
that's crazy.
To be fair, $200 million. That's a lot of money.
It's a shit ton of money.
How much was Red Dead Redemption 2? It was pushing 200 mil, wasn't it?
Let me look it up.
He's Rockstar.
Wait, is it
I wouldn't
in
doubt
there?
it.
No, it is
on
not.
your game? Okay.
You guys can run it. I did just look this up, and it was the first one that showed up. I hope it's not wrong. But it said, I was like maybe about 100 mil.
What's your source? I want your source.
Sounds right.
Just look up Last of Us 2 production value, and
Google.
Google's like the first one. It's like, about 100 mil.
About a honey.
But honey, what's that mean? They also,
Oh.
Red Dead Redemption. Okay, this is coming from Screen Rant, which I don't like them that much. But okay, so Wikipedia is saying the development and marketing budget between $370 to $540 million. That's crazy. dog.
Marketing, though?
my Last of Us.
Marketing usually doubles your budget.
Why am I second guessing my answer right now? The next game I got on here is 007 Goldeneye for the Nintendo 64.
Like $20.
$5 million is what I have as the possible value.
I think it's lower.
Higher.
I'm going equal. Someone's
One of
right.
us are right.
Randy McLeod. It was It was only $2 million to make that game.
Shit,
Oh, I
that
say
shit came
only-
came out in the fucking Nintendo 64 days, where like $2 million is $100 million.
Shit ton of
I was
money.
thinking just because it was like 007 would have had like a ton of backing or something.
Yeah.
That's a fair thought process that I was hoping someone would make and get it wrong. Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh lord,
You should know this.
115 million to make.
no, more.
More.
Yeah, it was like the second. I think I saw a list. It was like the second highest production value.
Second highest.
Is it
Second
30
highest.
mil?
I don't actually know.
300 mil?
It was 316 million
Yeah.
to make,
Yeah,
and
and it made $200.
I
It bombed.
dude, I literally bought that.
I feel bad for them.
I bought that game for last Christmas. Gifted, sorry, and it is still unopened.
Woof.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if I will open it. It scares me. I keep looking up like every few months. Like,
It was like
did it get better?
it was like 300. Well, they're coming out with the next gen patches next year, Q1 next year.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but now I'm gonna have to buy the next gen console to play a game that I'm never gonna play on
I think
PS4.
it's decent enough now. Like it's passable now, but like yeah, no.
Still.
Yeah, that game cost like what 300
16 million.
600 million. They made $500 million on day one, and then they refunded $300 million.
Yikes.
Ugh,
I just
not
came
know
up with
that's-
that, but like
I
they had to
believe it,
refund a
though.
fuck ton. Of
I'd
people.
believe it.
I would.
And
actually not
PlayStation
doubt
pulled it off the fucking store.
Yeah, I can't believe that
You
was
have to fuck up so hard
You
for an
can't
entire
be, yeah.
console to pull your game.
that actually might have been the biggest flop in history, beating up No Man's Sky, for sure.
Yeah, but No Man's Sky came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Cyberpunk.
Okay, granted,
Yeah.
granted, it took a couple years for No Man's Sky to come back.
But it's in a really good spot.
It is.
Same with 76, I think.
Mm.
Fallout 76.
I think this is a fun
Lots of redemption
That was
stories.
another good.
For sure.
That was another
Seven,
flop.
or Cyberpunk is not it though.
Still waiting on Anthem, baby. You know they shut
And
down
they-
development on it.
We're so close.
We're so close. Come on, baby.
It deserves so much better.
They're not working on it.
I know.
I'm
I
sorry.
know.
It's over.
Battleborn.
Battleborn. For every redemption story, there's 12 not like fucking whamp whamp.
Can we
Yeah.
just put the word out about Battleborn quick? It wasn't an indie game. It was like a AA single game.
Triple.
Was it AAA?
Yeah, it'd be a
Yeah,
triple A
it
if it was
Gearbox.
from Gearbox. Gearbox
Great
publishing.
game that never got played, and I'm pissed about it. Next on the trivia questions.
Please.
Clash of Clans, 1.2 million.
Lower.
That's good.
Oh. Original development cost?
Original development cost, yeah.
Lower.
Lower.
Equal.
They have I don't know if it's original.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Actual is 12 million at the moment.
12 million.
12 million. That may be also including, I didn't get all the statistics. For some reason, it's super hard to find production value on games.
Yep. Yeah, they don't like to share that.
Unbelievably hard. I looked up so many games.
Especially like Sony does not love talking about it, and they also don't like talking about sales of their games unless it's like a good milestone. Otherwise, they won't talk about it. Like they didn't talk about Days Gone sales numbers very much, but
Most
then
of
like
them.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart came out and it was like, "Hey, we already hit 500 million, baby!"
I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated that so much.
Yeah.
For like a week, my whole Twitter feed was just filled with Sony pumping Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure it's a great game, but because of that, I'm not going to play it.
I would love to play another Ratchet and Clank game. What a great game.
Oh, they're so much fun.
We need another Ratchet and Clank Deadlock, though.
The original Super Mario Bros. 250,000.
$4.
Is this in like yen?
No, this is USD. This is USD.
250?
1,000, yeah.
I'd say even. Equal to.
Lower.
I'm gonna say lower.
It actually only cost 17,000 to make,
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense.
which is crazy to me. I realized I gave you guys the option to equal and never used it once.
You son of a bitch.
You guys got
Red
bamboozled.
herring.
Yeah.
Get fudged. All right. Does anyone else wants to add?
I just want to say that like there's so many indie experiences out there. Go play them. AAA also has a great spot. I am not against AAA. I like the two of them
For sure.
and I think like an indie game is a perfect little snack in between your big Elden Rings and your CODs and stuff like that.
It's like the sip of milk in between your bites of steak.
Broadens your horizon.
Wait.
What?
Huh?
You know that?
Yeah, you guys haven't heard that? People usually drink like a glass of milk when they're having steak.
I actually just made that shit up, to be honest. I didn't know that. I just drink milk when I eat steak.
I'm not sure who to be more confused by.
I'm
at
pretty
this
sure
point.
Shane has told me that he loves a glass of milk when he's having steak.
I just love a glass of milk in general.
Nice, cool glass.
3% or nothing, baby.
Homogenized.
Homogenized.
I miss it, bro.
They actually,
Homogen fuck off.
Listen, they're just getting the whole cow in their meal.
Do they-
Okay.
they actually add fat into 3%. Anyways, any other closing statements from the boys?
Just play indie games. They're cheap, easy to get
They're
into.
so cheap.
Yeah,
You get a PC, guess what? That shit pays for itself. You're getting games for $1.
yeah. Just pick them up. Even if you don't play them, you just have them.
Yep.
And like if you play them and you find out that you enjoy them, way to go. If you don't, so what?
There
You
goes
wait-
$4.
Yeah,
And you're supporting someone who's got a passion in something.
go
and
dig in
put
your
the
couch
work
for another one.
in. Who probably put several
Dime a dozen,
hundreds of
bro.
hours into
Yeah.
building a game. Probably. Maybe. Michael, got any closing
It's like
statements?
trading cards.
Nope. I'm good.
Word. And with that, this is the end of our Junk Monkeys conclusion. I don't know.
Episode 5.
Huh?
Episode 5.
This is episode 5?
Yep.
Damn.
Shoutouts. Got a shout out.
Shout outs, everybody.
Shout out to episode 5. Big milestone. We are. I don't know why 5 is a milestone.
Hey, man.
It's one more than what we did last.
A milestone. We've all hosted an episode.
Oh.
Shout outs to, of course, Daniel Mosionier for editing and creating classic, contemporary, groovy tunes. Whoop, whoop. We really appreciate it. And also to the Creation Nation Makerspace. We really appreciate you letting us use your space. It's great. And shout out to you, listener. You made it this far into episode 5 of Junk Monkeys podcast.
How many people do you think are going to hear this?
You, me, and Mike. Brad's not making it to the end.
I'll probably fall asleep while watching it.
Oh, and Dan, too. That's 4 people.
Yeah, he's forced to watch it.
Yeah.
So
He probably does it at like 1.5 speed, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
We all sound like chipmunks to him.
He sees us in real life and he's just like, whoa.
You guys have deep voices. Oh my goodness.
We need to start singing Christmas carols.
Anyways,
Cool.
goodbye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Farewell.
You want to hit stop on the laptop, brother?
What do you want to touch?
You can't use the touchpad. Yeah, use that. That's right. Be Brad.
I'm sorry.
Why that sent me?
What do you say?
I don't know.